Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about AR model in DBMS. This is the outline of this video. It consists of an introduction to the AR model, entity and different types of entities, attribute and its types, relationship and its types, cardinality mapping. Introduction to AR model. AR stands for Entity Relationship Model. This model is a conceptual data modeling technique that plays a crucial role in database design. For example, let us consider a university database. This university database consists of students, courses, teachers, etc. The student can have various fields like student ID, name, roll number, etc. The arrangement of this database is known as a ER model. This AR model consists of entities, attributes and relationships. This is the mathematical representation of entities. Entities are represented in a rectangle format, whereas attributes are related in oval shape and relationships are represented in diamond shape. Entity definition. What is an entity? An entity represents a real-world objects or concepts that is captured in a database. Here entities are objects, physical objects. Some of the examples of entities include students, courses, teachers, employee, etc. Some group of entities is known as entity sets. Now types of entities. There are two types of entities. First one is a strong entity and second one is weak entity. Strong entity is a type of entity that has a key attributes that can uniquely identify each instance of an entity. A strong entity does not depend on any other entity in the schema for its identification. It has a primary key that ensures its uniqueness and is represented by a rectangle in an ER diagram. Basically, the strong entity consists of a primary key. Here a primary key has the characteristics that the value should not be null and it should be unique. The strong entity consists of at least one primary key. The second type of entity is known as weak entity. This cannot be uniquely identified by its own attributes. It depends on strong entities and it does not have any primary keys. One of the example of entity include a company may store information of the dependencies like parents, children or spouse of an employee. But the dependents can't exist without the employees. So the dependent will be a weak entity and the employee will be identifying entity type for the dependents, which means it is a strong entity type. Another example include a customer borrows loan. Here borrows is a relationship between the customer and the loan. Without the customer, the loan cannot be sanctioned. So here loan is weak entity and customer is a strong entity. Attributes in ER model. Attributes are basically the properties or characteristics of an entity. For example, let us consider a student entity. The student may have various attributes like roll number, name, date of birth, age, etc. and mobile number. These are known as attributes. In AR diagram, these attributes are represented by an oval shape. There are totally 6 types of attributes. First one is simple and composite attributes. The simple attribute is indivisible, which means it cannot be further divided. For example, let us consider age. Age cannot be divided further. So it is known as simple attribute. Composite attribute. For example, composite attribute. In this, it can be divided into smaller parts like full name. Full name can be name can be divided into first name, middle name, and last name. So it is known as composite attribute. And Another example of composite attribute also include address. Address can be divided into street, city, state, and country. Now the third and fourth type of an attribute is a single valued attribute and multi-valued attribute. As the name suggests, the single valued attribute means an entity consists of only one attribute, whereas a multi-valued attribute means an entity consists more than one attribute. For example, phone number phone number of a student. A student can have a person can have multiple phone numbers. So multi-valued is represented by double oval shape. Next, the fifth and sixth type of attribute is a key and a derived attribute. Here a key attribute means it must be unique and it must not be null. One example of is roll number or employee ID, because it should be not null and it should be unique for each student or an employee. Derived attributes means it is derived from another attribute. For example, let us consider age. Age can be derived from the date of birth, so it is called a derived attribute. The third concept is relationships. A relationship type represents the association between entities types. For example, enrolled in is a relationship between the student and a course. Another example also includes teachers, between student and a teacher. A set of relationship of the same type is known as a relationship set. Means group of relationship are known as relationship sets. Types of relationships. There are total 3 types in a relationship. First one is a urinary or a recursive relationship. In this type of relationship, only one entity participates in the relationship. As shown in the example, one person is married to only one person. The second type is known as a binary relationship. In this, two entities participate in a relationship. For example, student enrolls in a course. Here, student and course are two different types of entities, and enrolled in is a relationship between those two. So it is known as binary relationship. Third one is a ternary relationship. As the name suggests, there are total 3 entities participate in the relationship. As shown in the example, student enrolled in an instructor. The course is enrolled by an instructor. So there are total 3 types of relationship. 3 types of entities participate in the relationship, and it is known as ternary relationship. The fourth concept is cardinality mapping. There are total 4 types in cardinality mapping. First one is 1-to-1. In this, there are relationship between two entities is only 1-to-1. Let us consider a scenario where person issued a passport. Here only one person is issued to one passport. It cannot be multiple passports are issued to a one person. It is not possible. So this 1-to-1 relationship includes only 2 different kinds of entities with a single transaction. Second one is 1-to-many. As shown in the example, the surgeon department has multiple doctors, and this is the set representation of a 1-to-many. A group of entities called A1, A2, A3, A4, and another group of entities called B1, B2, B3, B4. The set relationship is shown in the figure. The third concept is many-to-one relationship. For example, multiple surgeries are done by a single person. Here the surgeries are multiple and the person is only single surgeon. So it is called many-to-one relationship. As shown in the below is the set representation of many-to-one cardinality mapping. It is not necessary that the B set is compulsory related to the set A. The fourth one is many to many. As the employees works on multiple projects, there can be any number of employees and any number of projects. The relationship between those two can be multiple. The below is the set representation of a many to many cardinality mapping. And finally, an example of a university database. This consists of four entities called student, course offerings, instructor, and courses. Each entity has different types of attributes, like the student has student ID, name, and program, whereas the instructor has ID, name, department, and title. Similarly, the course has different attributes, and course offerings has different attributes. The relationship between entities is known as the characteristic between two entities is known as a relationship. For example, student enrolls in a course. Here enrolls is known as a relationship. In the similarly, course offering teaches a instructor. Here teaches is a relationship. And course offerings is offered by a course. Is offered is a relationship between course offerings and course. This is the example of a university database. And conclusion. In summary, understanding the ER model significance is crucial for effective database design. In this video, we discussed about an ER model definition, entity and its different types, attributes and types, relationship and different types, and finally a cardinality mapping and an example of a university database. Thank you.